All right, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Salito once again. Let me just say before I get into this video that I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. So please don't look at me as a financial advisor because I don't want to fucking be one. Anything that I say pertaining to any of these stocks that I'm about to speak on is strictly for entertainment purposes only. So whatever you do when it comes to jumping in and out of these plays is on you. All right. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. Also, starting Monday, I will not be posting these videos public anymore. I will be posting them only through the membership area. So you will have to subscribe in order to look at these videos from here on out. Okay, so first let's talk about GameStop. So GameStop had a pretty explosive day today. On your left hand side, we got the ancient past. Your right hand side is your present time. So today with GameStop, we ended up actually going up as high as 7.58%. Well, basically ending the day at 7.58%. The high for today was 10.94, and we ended up closing around $10.93. As of right now, in after hours, we actually have a pullback, negative 1.46% now, down 16 cents. So it's nothing too drastic, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and jump into it real quick. So as you guys can see, we're gonna start from the purple arrow. You just get a nice downfall straight to the white arrow below the horizontal ray line. Purple arrow does the same thing over here. It's still looking a little stagnant over here, but as you can see right here on the MACD indicator, we have finally crossed our signal line, and now we have made a nice little graph candle right here, stating that it's time for some upside, in my opinion. So, with that being said, I do feel that tomorrow may be another explosive day. In my opinion, it may not be, but if I were to guess anything, I would think that the next stop now would be somewhere around. In my opinion, I think it'll be somewhere around that $11 range. We may get a pullback throughout the day. It may be a choppy day, no telling. But if shit hits the fan, we can possibly go back as low as $10.48. Okay, so take that with a grain of salt. But as of right now, I'm still thinking that that GameStop is gonna be able to reach that $20 to $21 range, going into earnings, I believe. I also need we also need to go ahead and cover this gap right here. I'm expecting for us to get straight leg up pip candles. I would love to see a slow climb up, something like this from the pink arrow to the golden arrow, but ain't no telling because the ancient past is not going to always look the same as the present. Well, vice versa. So as of right now, we need to go ahead and cover this gap right here at the 1370s range all the way up to the 1470s range. So it's basically a $1 gap. I feel that this gap will be filled by the time we get to earnings. Now, once we get into earnings, I do also feel that there's a possibility that we can end up squeezing up to as high as $21. If we break past that $20 to $21 range, we could possibly see shoot 25 plus in my opinion. But like I say, take that with a grain of salt and it's not financial advice. But GameStop looks pretty good. We have earnings coming up on June 5th, 2024. So we have a whole lot of time before we can get up to that area of $20 to $21. But I do think that if it doesn't happen before earnings, it will happen during earnings, in my opinion. But like I say, take that with a grain of salt, okay? So let's go ahead and move over to the SPY. All right. So while that's loading up, as I've stated, I'm not gonna be posting any more videos publicly. They're gonna be strictly for everybody who's subscribed to the channel. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, you possibly will not see, well, you won't be seeing no video of me. So you might want to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and make sure you got your notifications on so that way you guys can be able to see when the videos are being uploaded. Okay, so let's talk about the SPY real quick. Let me adjust this over because I'm not going to use the yellow arrow no more because we're kind of further in now. Um, so we ended up getting a red day today. We ended up almost peaking around $508, but we ended up peaking around $507 and some change. Um, I believe, hold on, let me check real quick. I believe it was, yeah, $507.37 was our peak today. I didn't get to speak about what price predictions I was thinking on the SPY. I wasn't, it slipped my mind yesterday, but all good. So today I will be talking about that. But before we get into that, let me go ahead and say that the left side right here is your ancient past, and your right hand side right here is your present time. So once again, from the blue arrow, we bounced off the horizontal ray line, created an arch going back to the downside to meet where the white arrow is at. And after that, we ended up bouncing again, creating some form of an arch going all the way up to the purple arrow. And I'm expecting for another bounce to go back towards the horizontal ray line, which, as you can see right here in the present time, it did the same thing. Blue arrow, bounce off the horizontal ray line, creates an arch going into the downside because we had a gap to fill, which the gap is already now filled. And then from the white arrow, we bounce back up into this white box that I drew. So we ended up rejecting somewhere close to that, to the horizontal ray line. We was a couple cents away from it, but I still think that it's going to be more upside, in my opinion, tomorrow. As you can see from the MACD indicator down here, the MACD has already created its curl, and now it's about to create to touch that signal line very, very soon. So I'm waiting to see something like this green little dot right here, to signal that we have either touched it or we're about to cross, or we already crossed it. Excuse me. I think that we're going to get to around that 530s range sometime between the middle of May, possibly at the early start of June. But not financial advice. Take that with a grain of salt. And after that, we should be seeing some form of a pullback once again, and then coming back down possibly as low as to this area again of 507. And then we continue going to the upside forward towards that 550 plus range that I was speaking on. But I think that the next level, after we get that next bounce, which will possibly be sometime in July, even though I usually don't talk too far into the future like that, but I feel that after we reach 530 and we get a retest again, then we're gonna bounce up and touch 540, 550s range. But I think that could possibly happen sometime in July. But like I said, once again, take that with a grain of salt. There is a possibility that once that happens, that we can go much, much higher. But of course, I will keep you guys posted on that. So for tomorrow, like I said, I think that we can possibly end up going all the way back up to $504.38. Today we ended up closing around $505.41, but as of right now, we're down $2.97 in the after hours. We're down 0.59%, so basically half a percent. But compared to that with the SPY, that's not too bad in my opinion. But like I said, tomorrow we could possibly go all the way up to around $504.38. If things decide to get a little volatile for the to the upside, I do think that we can go as high as $508.50. We can possibly go even higher than that. But right now, I'm thinking peaking. We can possibly peak around $508.50 by the time it hits tomorrow. If not tomorrow, by the end of this week. But once again, take everything that I say with a grain of salt. But so far, so good. If shit hits the fan, there's a possibility that we can go all the way back down under 500 and go all the way down to $499 and possibly create a low peak down there, a lower low for that day. Um, so hopefully we don't get no daily low of $499. We do need to stay above that $500 range, because if not, then there's a possibility that there will be more downside. So, but in my opinion, like I say, I don't see that happening no time soon. It looks good in my opinion. So, yeah. But let's go on and jump on over to GameStop real quick. And then after that, I will be talking about AMC's comparison, and then we're gonna jump on over to the single chart, so that way we can talk a little bit more about AMC, GameStop, SoFi, and SHIB. And then after that, this video is over for you guys. so you guys can get on with your lives and stuff. All right, so let me go ahead and readjust the ancient side. I hate when TradingView does this. Like, I wish there was a way that I can just save it and, it just stays as is. But I guess I'm never gonna get that opportunity. I'm never gonna get that wish to be fulfilled. All right, so GameStop. GameStop had a pretty explosive day today. I did say that the bottom was already in. The very bottom was actually $9.95, I believe. Um, and ever since then, we ended up getting a nice bounce back down into that close to that $9.95 range, which we didn't go as low. We ended up staying above that $10 range, I believe, and as of today, we ended up shooting up all the way to $10.93, ending the day around $10.93. The peak was $10.94, but that peak ended up happening at the end of the day. As you guys can also see as well, right here on the MACD indicator, we've already crossed the signal line. The MACD is showing indication that we can get more upside. So I think that, oh, excuse me, I think that we can all that we're gonna get more upside tomorrow. We ended up closing the day around 7.58%, up 77 cents. So that was a pretty explosive day today. Um, Also, with that being said, I see that in the after hours right now we're down 1.10%, basically 12 cents down, but 77 cents throughout a trading day compared to only being 12 cents down in the after hours is a whole lot more. It's bullish in my opinion. So if anything, I would think that tomorrow, if shit hits the fan, we can go all the way back down to $10.25 because we already know how the powers that be want to act when it comes to these plays, especially GME and AMC and other meme stocks. But if things continue going to the upside, we can possibly see that breakout of $10.94, possibly in a pre market if it doesn't happen tonight in after hours. Once that happens and we get past that $10.94 range, of course, which is only 1 cent across, we can go as high as possibly $11.20. So take that with a grain of salt. All right. Now, with earnings coming up in June, I believe it's June 5th. Like I said, let me see if it's June 5th. Hold on, real quick. Yes, so June 5th. I do feel that we can possibly hit that $20 to $21 range, in my opinion, not financial advice, before earnings. Now, if we don't hit it before earnings, that's perfectly fine because I do feel that GameStop's earnings this go around is actually going to be very, very positive and it'll be very, very bullish in my opinion. If we don't hit that $20 to $21 range before earnings, I honestly feel that it may happen during earnings. So I'm sorry, GameStop is looking pretty good. Looking very, very decent. We still got more upside, but for the time being, we have to break this 1370s to 1470s range, this $1 gap that I have drawn out right here that needs to be filled. I'm also hoping that we don't get any gap ups because the moment that we see a gap up, as you see over here on this side, we're going to end up getting a pullback. And I love seeing gap ups, but I hate them at the same time because you always got to cover those gaps. So hopefully we can get something like a nice little move to the upside minus the gap. See a bunch of big leg ups going up to cover this gap right here. Straight pip candles, nothing with no gaps, no spaces, no nothing. I don't want to see none of that. So let's hope that doesn't happen. But other than that, GameStop had a very, very great day today, and I'm expecting to see it continue going in tomorrow. So, like I said, take that with a grain of salt. All right, so let's go over here to AMC's comparison, and then we're gonna jump on over to SHIB and talk about that one, and then we're gonna talk about SoFi, and after that, this video is over. All right, let me readjust again. All right, so AMC today. AMC, we ended up going down in the red today, but no biggie. It was already predicted. It was already going to happen regardless. But you already know how it is with the memes or whatever going against the powers that be. Let me extend this out a little bit more. I'm gonna go to the gold arrow and we'll start from there. Okay, so right now I feel that we're right here on the green arrow. As you can see, the green arrow is right here. We end up getting our bottom where the pink arrow is at, and as you can see right here in the descending macro wedge, we ended up getting that bounce, and we ended up breaking out, going into this white rectangle that I drew out, and then we bounced and ended up moving up out of there. Same thing goes over here for the present time. We end up getting a bounce out of this macro descending wedge, and we end up going up to this area now. And now we're in the barcode area where I feel that we may possibly stay in going into earnings. Now, there's a possibility that we can also end up getting a nice push up to the upside to cover that $4 gap right here. And then we end up getting a pull back down into this area, and then we shoot even higher. So it may look something like this right here from the green arrow where it goes down and then they end up shooting it up. Now with AMC, the powers that be have been lagging the shit out of our play. So it may take some time, but who knows? We may end up getting that squeeze before. We may end up getting that squeeze to the upside during earnings. Who knows? But I do feel that earnings this go around will actually be positive again, and we may possibly get some upside. So, in my opinion, after we hit this $4 range right here, this gap, that this little small tiny gap that we need to fill, I still believe that we can hit that $8 range, that $8.50 range, excuse me. And I feel that once we hit that $8.50 range, um, then we can possibly end up creating another barcode scenario and then continue moving up higher to the upside. If anything, if we break past that and we go up to that $9 range, $10 range, then there's a possibility that we might be getting ready to possibly squeeze. But take that with a grain of salt, okay? So with numbers right now, I feel that AMC, if shit hits the fan, AMC could possibly go back all the way down to as low as $3.10. We have to break that $3.31 range. We ended up closing the day around negative 3.24%, so we had 11-cent loss. Nothing too dramatic. I still feel that it's bullish in my opinion, and I also feel that if we do end up getting some form of upside again tomorrow, then there's a possibility that we can go as high as $3.51. And then after that, possibly rolling into after hours. At the end of the day, we might see some form of action going even higher, possibly to the 360s, 370 range. But that's just my opinion, so take that with a grain of salt, okay? But other than that, GameStop. Now I'm switching them up. AMC looks good. I'm actually going to readjust something right now for you guys as well while you guys are watching this video. I'm going to move this green arrow and I'm going to put it down right here. Okay? So as of right now, this is where we may possibly be. But like I say, tomorrow we could possibly see a green day. As you can see on the MACD as well, MACD is still getting stronger and stronger by the day. We finally broke out that macro descending wedge, and things are looking very, very good in my opinion. I'm just hoping that when we hit earnings, we end up getting an explosive move to the upside. Hopefully, no gaps. I don't like gap ups because, like I say, with them gap ups, we end up having to cover those. And it's fucking stressful in my opinion. But other than that, AMC looks good. So now we're gonna jump on over to the single chart of AMC and give you guys kind of more of an outlook on where we can possibly head to next, step by step. I've already given the numbers on what I think can possibly happen, so I won't be talking about the numbers as much anymore. But as you can see right here on the single chart, I'm sorry, our discount zone, we're way above that discount zone now. I don't think that we're going to end up going back into that discount zone area. We did break below the previous weekly high, and we're kind of holding on in between the previous weekly high and the previous daily low. So we ended up actually reaching almost close to the top of the previous daily high, yesterday's daily high, and we ended up getting rejected. But as of right now, we still have this premium zone, which is up here in that $4 range, which is after we get past our change of character zone right here, which is obviously below, above the gap right here. So, if anything, I do feel that we will actually get to that $4 range before earnings. Earnings is on May 8th so far for the time being right now. And like I said, I do think that we're going to cover that little gap before earnings and stuff. And after that, we'll possibly be in this premium zone area where we fight for that $5 range. And then hopefully God said the same, we can shoot up going towards that $8.50 range. But it all depends on how earnings turns out. But so far, so good. Everything looks good on AMC. So now let's talk about SHIB. So SHIB is doing what it has to do as always. We ended up getting a nice healthy pullback today. SHIB is looking very, very good in my opinion. It's actually still riding above the upside of this descending macro wedge that I had drew, the top of it. And I feel that we're actually going to get another bounce off of that. So as you can see right now on the MACD as well, that we end up getting some type of weakness, some form of weakness right here on the graph candle down here. I still think that I'm still waiting on that blue pivot reversal arrow to pop up to signalize that it's time to go, that it's time to get ready to go super parabolic in my opinion. Something that looks something like this over here. So I still think that we actually, before I even get any further on where I think that we need to go as far as breaking, we need to get back into this equilibrium zone. Yesterday, we ended up getting into that premium zone towards the previous weekly high, and we got rejected out of the premium zone, and we fell down below the equilibrium zone today. So tomorrow is a possibility that we can actually see a bounce going back up. We ended up below the previous daily low. Nothing too dramatic. It's all good. You guys already know that crypto runs 24/7, so we can actually see that change with basically any time, any second. So once we get past this premium zone area, we got to get past that 3600ths of a penny area. Once we break past this area up over here, then we're possibly going to go skyrocketing. I think that SHIB is going to be losing to zero very, very soon and possibly peak out around 11 thousandths of a penny. But we'll see going into the near future. But as of right now, SHIB looks very, very good in my opinion. So let's hope that she stays above this red upper wedge, descending wedge, and continue carrying its bounce going to the upside. But so far so good. So now let's go over here into SoFi. All right, SoFi. SoFi did its little thing today. Ended up going into the premium zone and we actually got rejected. And now we're sitting a little above the previous daily high. So today with SoFi, we ended up getting up to $7.60. As of right now, we're down 10 cents, basically negative 1.31% in the after hours. Right now it's $7.50. We ended up peaking out around $7.68 today, which was very, very beautiful in my opinion. And as you can see right here down on the MACD indicator, you got your purple dot, which signalizes that it's time for some upside. And we got that green candle right here. And my oh my, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I'm super duper bullish on this right now. I feel that we're actually gonna break through this premium zone before earnings, if not in earnings. So take everything with a grain of salt. But if anything, if we don't break past that before earnings, I think during earnings we can get as high as to this equilibrium zone area and cover this gap. And hopefully, God say the same. We don't get no pullback. But if we do get a pullback, I mean, that's fine because that would be a very healthy retest. And then we can start going towards this range right here, the next premium zone of where it sits around $8.80 all the way up to a high of $9.20. But after that, we'll talk a little bit more about that once it happens. But so far right now, I still hold my call options. Okay, I have two of them. I still hold my COs for the $8 strike, and I feel that the $8 range is actually gonna get broken. If it doesn't happen before this week is out, I do feel that it will happen during earnings. So take that with a grain of salt. It's not financial advice, okay? But other than that, SoFi looks good, AMC looks good, GME looks good, the SPY looks good, and SHIB looks good. So if you guys want to join the Discord, I advise you guys to go ahead and jump in there sooner than later because, like I said before in my previous videos, once these plays start squeezing, I will be charging people to jump into the Discord. I will be charging $5 a month for you guys to be a part of the Discord. But if you jump in now, you will be senioritized to where you're only in there for free and you won't have to pay anything. But other than that, like I said as well earlier in the video too, as of Monday, I will not be having my videos shown publicly. You will have to subscribe to the channel, and that's the only way you're gonna be able to see my videos from here on out. But other than that, that's the end of the video. You guys have a great night. Don't let nobody get you upset. Don't let nobody get you out your comfort zone. Don't let nobody piss in your Cheerios. Enjoy your night with your family and friends. So, see you guys tomorrow. Hasta luego. El Salito out.